Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, the Maine Warden Service is working with the Knox County Sheriff's Office to locate 71-year-old Francine Laporte of St. George, Maine.
She was reported missing by her husband, Paul Laporte, yesterday afternoon. He told authorities he woke up to find that Francine was not home, and after several hours, he went looking for her. Her phone was left at the residence on States Point Road, and it is believed that she left on foot. The Warden Service is asking anyone who saw a female walking in the area of States Point Road or River Road in St. George early yesterday morning to call the State Police Dispatch Center in Augusta at 207-624-7076.
A Presque Isle man convicted of murdering two men has been sentenced to life in prison. 38-year-old Bobby Nightingale was also sentenced to 5 consecutive years for criminal threatening. 25-year-old Alan Curtis and 51-year-old Roger Ellis were found dead in a truck on Route 227 in Castle Hill back in August of 2019. The criminal threatening charge came from an incident on State Road in Castle Hill 3 days prior.
A former Bangor resident faces up to 20 years for drug trafficking in Penobscot and Aroostook counties. 31-year-old Wayne Smith pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in Bangor today to conspiracy to distribute and possession with the intent to distribute methamphetamine and fentanyl. Court records show between January 2018 and December 2021, Smith, along with others, trafficked methamphetamine and fentanyl in Penobscot County and Aroostook County. He will be sentenced after the U.S. Probation Office completes its pre-sentence investigative report.
2 pedestrians were killed in separate crashes yesterday, one in Hancock and another in Lewiston. 3 people have now died while walking on Maine roads in less than a week. The Bicycle Coalition of Maine's executive director says they're deeply troubled by the crashes, and they're reminding drivers to slow down and pay extra attention in locations where pedestrians or bike riders are likely to appear, especially in inclement weather. They're also reminding pedestrians and bicyclists to consider their own visibility in low light conditions and to use lights or reflective materials.
Well, Governor Mills is expressing disappointment and concern following the rejection of her emergency winter heating plan last night by some Senate Republicans. Mills said throughout campaign season, Democrats and Republicans heard from Maine people about their concerns, especially regarding the upcoming winter season and potential challenges with home heating. She said she negotiated in good faith with both Republicans and Democrats in the legislature to make sure the emergency plan included those concerns and priorities.
We've been talking to the leadership of both parties in both houses, both chambers, for a couple of weeks now. We explained exactly what was in the bill. We made changes to the bill to increase their support, and then they turned their backs. They turned their backs on Maine people, and I think they'll hear from Maine people. I feel concerned about people freezing in their own homes in the coming weeks.
Well, it's not clear at this time when an emergency heating plan will be passed. Meanwhile, following the vote, Senate Republicans issued a statement. Assistant Republican leader and Maine State Senator Lisa Kimes said, quote, "We recognize the dire need for fuel assistance and housing facing Maine's people. These are my neighbors and constituents who are relying on me. We are fully engaged and ready to tackle these issues," end quote.
Nearly $1 million in funding for Head Start is heading to Maine. A statement says the money from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services will strengthen Head Start programs and promote early childhood education opportunities for children in poverty. Androscoggin Head Start and Child Care in Lewiston and Downey's Community Partners in Ellsworth will use the funding to develop new approaches to learning, strengthen social and emotional development programs, and expand physical health education. U.S. Senators Susan Collins and Angus King said, quote, "Maine Head Start programs empower both parents and their children, from kickstarting educations to promoting positive parent-child relationships. Head Start's opportunities are invaluable to Maine students' success," end quote.
In other news tonight, a new leader has taken the helm at the Pittsfield Police Department. Vincente Morris was sworn in Tuesday after Pittsfield councilors unanimously voted to appoint him to the position. Morris previously served the Augusta Police Department for 2 decades, working his way up through the ranks from a patrol officer to the commander of the force's patrol unit. Morris says the future of the Pittsfield Police Department is bright.
Vision for the police department itself, I want to make sure that I'm leading good leaders here because I want to make sure that, when my time is to go, that I have people that I have brought through the ranks that will be able to, take my position and move forward. I want to make a very professional agency.
Morris says his door is always open, and if you see him around, make sure to say hello as he wants to get to know the community.
All right, and turning our attention now to the outdoors. Yesterday was a really rainy and kind of dreary day.
Yeah, not the best.
Yeah, today looking a lot nicer out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very mild day, and we are going to see more seasonally appropriate temperatures, which many people are certainly looking forward to. And with a little bit more on that, let's hit pause here and take a look at our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth. Our first weather is brought to you by Saliba's Rug Cleaners, Maine's largest rug cleaning destination for over 70 years. So lots of clear skies today, folks. We had some sunshine. I was driving around with my shades on today. A whole different story than what we had just yesterday. I had to walk around my umbrella. It was raining outside. Today, a lot nicer. Visibilities are a lot nicer. There's only a couple of spots that have some lower visibility, but overall, we're in the clear. Temperatures earlier today were warm, 50 degrees here in town, 52 in Bar Harbor, 48 in Rockland. But mind you, this was in the morning. Temperatures continue to cool off throughout the day. So during the day, we really got into those 40s and even some upper 30s in the region. That's why it feels like temperatures pretty much in the 20s and a couple pockets of some 30s in the area. For tonight, though, temperatures will continue to cool off. Lots of clear skies, and we'll be hovering around those upper 20s. Beth?
All righty, Conrad, thanks so much. More to come on that.
Indeed, and still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, Governor Mills announces a grant to provide high-speed internet to all Mainers. And
how an Old Town native is creating a bucket list in the face of a terminal illness. We'll have those stories and more local news when we come right back.
I'm 82 years old and I have collapsed arches, which means the first thing that hits the ground is the bone in my arch. I came to Comfort Shoes 4 years ago because I couldn't walk without pain. And she spent so much time on my feet getting the right shoe, and we finally found the right pair. Once you made these orthotics for me, I have no pain. These are so comfortable. I have no discomfort. I feel like I could go running, and I thank you and Comfort Shoes for that.
In Maine, it's always buying season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we carry new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams for your buying season. Here at Thornton Brothers, we'll help you find the right vehicle specifically for you to suit your lifestyle. As they say, the proof is in the performance. So come on over and test drive a real vehicle from a real dealership, or place your order with us and see why it really is buying season here in Maine. Thornton Brothers, Main Street, Lincoln.
Nearly all commercial vehicles carry big insurance policies. So if you're hurt by one of these box trucks, or by a garbage truck, or by any kind of commercial vehicle, you may have a big case worth big money. But they don't just give that money up. You need someone who's going to fight for it. That's exactly why you need to call the Twos. I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. If you've been hurt by any commercial truck, call the Twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial truck? Call the Twos. Call 222-2222.
Silver Fox Automotive is a family-owned and operated company with more than 30 years of experience. We are originally from the county and offer competitive prices and promise you will be completely satisfied with our work. We offer a stress-free experience to both our new and returning customers. We only use parts from reputable brands to ensure your vehicle is safe to drive. Here at Silver Fox, there will always be a friendly face to greet you. Come see us at 2004 Audlin Road in Herman.
Hammond Lumber Company is honored to be named one of the best places to work in Maine. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
Coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll hear about the community baby shower that's the All Saints School in Bangor is hosting to fundraise for local parents, plus the latest from court regarding the sentencing of Bobby Nightingale, and details from legislators working to provide internet services to everyone in the state. All of this and more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. New rent control measures are now in effect in Portland as of today. Voters just approved the new rules last month with some big changes, including how much notice a landlord must give to increase rent and by how much. Dan Lamparello has the details.
Renters and landlords in Portland are in for some big changes starting today.
There were tweaks, as I said, to the enforcement provisions as well as those rent board provisions and the registration process.
Interim City Manager Danielle West says her staff has been working since Election Day to try and get the ordinance changes implemented.
We're still wrapping our arms around them completely, working with our own legal staff to understand them as best as possible.
The so-called tenant protections include increasing notice for rent increases to 90 days, capping yearly rent increases to 70% of the Consumer Price Index, banning application fees, and limiting security deposits to just 1 month's rent, among others.
Right now, we're seeing that landlords are making a ton of money off of this crunched housing market, and we want to make sure that renter is remaining fair for people that are trying to live in Portland.
That's what one of the drafters of these changes told us earlier this year about why they wanted it to pass.
We found that landlords are willing to skirt the rules, and we found that the city is very hesitant to enforce laws when it is not in the favor of the landlord.
I think there are very few people in the city that understand what's taken effect here.
But for Britt Vitalius, who heads the Southern Maine Landlords Association, he believes these changes will leave landlords unable to invest in their buildings because of limits on how much they can recoup for inflation and property taxes.
Taxes will keep going up, and your rents can never go up with your taxes. Inflation will keep going up, and you can only ever go up 70%. So this seems like a real losing formula.
With the ordinance now in effect, the city will be charged with enforcing it, which they say will likely mean an increase in staff.
That's something that I'm very aware of as we head into the budgeting process and want to make sure that we have all the required tools in the toolbox, so to speak, to make sure that we're handling all of the various things that are on our plates right now.
And again, that was Dan Lamparello reporting. Meanwhile, South Portland police are trying to find whoever stole a rare guitar worth nearly $7,000. South Portland police shared a post on Facebook showing a picture of this 1960s-style Gibson Les Paul guitar that was reported stolen. They're asking people to keep an eye out and to share the Facebook post. The Tangerine Burst-style guitar has an estimated worth of around $6,700.
I'm hoping that we could, find this guitar, yes, and that someone can give us a tip on where it is, who took it, and we can get it back to the Guitar Center so someone could own this beautiful instrument.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the South Portland Police Department.
Well, Governor Mills joined officials with the National Telecommunications and Information Administration to announce a grant to provide high-speed internet for Mainers. Matthew Jurancic has more.
Every person in Maine who wants a reliable and affordable internet connection can have one by the end of 2024. That is my promise.
That promise comes on the hands of President Biden's historic $65 billion investment in providing affordable and high-speed connection to communities across the United States. The money allows Maine Connectivity Authority to continue its promise in a meaningful way.
We're excited to announce that Maine is receiving an initial grant of $5.5 million to plan for the deployment and adoption of internet throughout the state.
This money will go towards creating an action plan for the state to provide high-speed internet, targeting communities that would need such services.
That planning process is so important because it represents a demand. And where there's a demand, where there's an engaged and informed community that is demanding broadband service, that represents a very real economic benefit, and that attracts a private partnership.
Many were in attendance, including Governor Mills and the organizations that will be helping to provide reliable internet to all counties across Maine.
Supporting Aroostook County, Northern Maine Development Commission,
In Washington County, Sunrise County Economic Council.
And for males, giving internet to everyone is now a fundamental need.
High-speed internet is as fundamental to us and to our society now as electricity, heat, water, road systems. It's no longer a luxury, it's a necessity.
Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, lawmakers and foreign policy analysts are reacting to the release of WNBA star Brittany Griner from a Russian penal colony.
And the House approves legislation that will enshrine same-sex marriage rights into federal law once President Biden signs it. Those stories and much more after this short break.
We have a lot to be thankful for. And a lot to celebrate. This holiday season, let's do more than see the people we love. Let's be with the people we love and make the holiday memories that we will cherish for a lifetime. Let's begin at Bangor International Airport, the official airport of making tomorrow's holiday memories today. FlyBangor.com.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
Toyota-thon is on. Now's the time to get an exciting new Toyota. Like Camry Hybrid, RAV4, Tundra, and more.
How did you...
Magic.
Right now, you could save up to $1,300 with low 3.49% financing on most four-wheel drive Tacoma models. And every Tacoma comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more.
Come in today.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Leona May's Antique and Gift Shop is now open in Newport. Our unique building is a converted 1800s single-family home that we've given a new life to. A home for treasures, from antiques, collectibles, unique gifts, and so much more. Come make the rounds throughout the many rooms on all 3 floors as you wander back in time or find a unique gift that's perfect for that special someone or that hard to buy for a relative. So come visit us today. Leona May's Antique and Gift Shop, 147 Main Street, Newport.
Say goodbye to lag times and death spirals with our crazy fast fiber internet. At GoNet Speed, we've dropped our prices on fiber. That means hello to fast fiber internet starting at just $49.95 per month. Or go up to 1 gig, that's 1,000 megabits per second, for only $69.95 a month. The lowest prices we've ever offered. No contract, no hidden fees, no joke. Visit GoNetspeed.com to check availability in your area.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
WNBA star Brittany Griner has been released from a Russian prison. In a prisoner swap, the U.S. traded Griner for a well-known Russian arms dealer nicknamed the Merchant of Death. But it's who the U.S. wasn't able to bring home that has some critical of the Biden administration. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has the latest from Washington.
The White House says it was one or none when it came to securing the release of American basketball star Brittany Griner. WNBA star Brittany Griner has been freed after 9 long months in Russian custody.
This is a day we've worked toward for a long time. We never stopped pushing for her release.
The swap on a tarmac in Abu Dhabi. Griner's release was in exchange for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, who was convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison for a plot to sell arms that would kill Americans. Some critics of the prisoner swap say President Biden let Vladimir Putin get the better deal.
Think about the exchange here. The Merchant of Death for a WNBA star who was picked up for marijuana. What a victory for Putin. But what else it does, it makes every American who is overseas vulnerable.
Over the summer, there was talk of a deal. Boot for Griner and Marine Paul Whelan, who has been in Russian custody for nearly 4 years. But that never materialized.
There had been people talking about being home by Christmas, and of course that isn't going to happen. So I'm sure he's extremely disappointed.
The Russians just treat Mr. Whelan
differently. They put him in a special category, and that makes negotiating over his release through a swap of some kind much more difficult than it was in the case of Brittany Griner.
Griner's wife said while she is focused on Brittany right now, she will remain committed to helping other families who are still trying to bring their loved ones home. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
In one of her last acts in leadership, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi oversaw today's House vote on the Respect for Marriage Act. The bill, passing the chamber 258 to 169, protects same-sex marriages following the 2015 Supreme Court decision requiring all states to grant same-sex marriages and recognize same-sex marriages granted in other states. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
The motion is adopted.
A landmark victory in the decades-long fight for nationwide recognition of same-sex and interracial marriages. The House on Thursday passing the Respect for Marriage Act, ensuring all states acknowledge every marriage is legal, regardless of sex, race, ethnicity, or national origin.
Today's vote is a monumental win in the fight for LGBTQ plus equality.
39 Republicans crossed the aisle to back the bipartisan legislation, protecting hundreds of thousands of couples who tie the knot after the Supreme Court's 2015 decision legalizing same-sex unions nationwide. The vote comes after the Senate passed the bill with support from 12 Republicans.
It's a bill that truly will make a difference to the lives of so many.
Still, a majority of GOP lawmakers were not on board, some citing the impact on religious rights.
This is yet another step toward the Democrats' goal of dismantling the traditional family, silencing voices of faith, and permanently undoing our country's God-woven foundation.
Supporters of the bill have been trying to codify marriage rights since the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision in July, which overturned federal abortion rights and also included an opinion from Justice Clarence Thomas suggesting same-sex marriage should be reconsidered, a fear some Republicans say Democrats have overblown.
Democrats have conjured up this non-existent threat, and they are misunderstanding or deliberately misrepresenting what Justice Thomas wrote.
The bill's next stop, President Biden's desk, where he's expected to promptly sign it into law. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Meanwhile, the House approved the annual defense policy bill Thursday. However, questions loom over how lawmakers will avoid a government shutdown next week. Fox's Chad Pergram reports.
The rules are suspended and the resolution is agreed to.
The House passing the defense policy bill 350 to 80. But that still doesn't fund the military. Republicans securing an end to the Pentagon's COVID vaccine requirement.
We insisted, our red line was, we had to end the vaccine mandate.
Lawmakers stripped the measure to just defense, ditching two priorities of Senator Joe Manchin. Language to allow banks to do business with marijuana firms and scrapping Manchin's ask for energy permitting.
The only outcome that partisan game playing would produce is the collapse of this bill.
But a defense bill just focused on defense still didn't satisfy some conservatives.
That's an $800 billion piece of legislation that we've had less than 2 days to consider, 4,000 pages.
Now the race is on to avert a government shutdown next week. There's a chasm over spending priorities.
We have to weigh it against how unfortunate it would be if they cannibalized the domestic budget at the expense of the defense budget.
Obviously, we won't allow them to now hijack the government funding process as well and take our troops hostage.
Democrats prefer a long-term funding bill, but at the very least need a Band-Aid bill.
I don't like that, but it's much better than the poison that might befall us.
Christmas at the Capitol is seemingly stocked with traditions as time-honored as trimming the tree or caroling.
Mark my words, December 16th, December 18th, we're going to get a 3,000-page bill.
Appropriations Committee Chairman Pat Leahy unveils a long-term bill Monday to avert a shutdown. Leahy thinks that bill can break a filibuster. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Meanwhile, repairs have been made and power restored in central North Carolina after shootings damaged electric substation equipment over the weekend. Federal authorities are looking for the culprits there and for the people responsible for vandalism at sites in the Pacific Northwest. Experts are warning of more problems in the future, though. Fox's David Spunt has more.
Federal law enforcement sources tell Fox News physical attacks on power grids across the country are on the rise, even before the weekend attack in North Carolina, where authorities say someone opened fire at a rural substation. The lights are now back on for thousands in Moore County.
A lot of hardship that way, people that are the elderly, people with medical conditions.
Fox News has learned the FBI is closely working with officials in Oregon and Washington after several power stations were vandalized late last month. The power supply itself not affected, unlike in North Carolina. Earlier this year, Homeland Security officials warned these plants were a, quote, attractive target for violent domestic extremists who continue to plot and encourage physical attacks against electrical infrastructure. But of greater concern to many security experts, hardening domestic and international cyber vulnerabilities, with the potential to crash a range of critical infrastructure, including the water supply, transportation, food production, and chemical and industrial plants.
The U.S. has the technology and knowledge to secure the systems, but has not prioritized the resources to do so.
Last February, the Justice Department announced guilty pleas for 3 men who conspired to attack power grids across the country. At the time, federal prosecutors called it a domestic terrorism plot related to white supremacist ideology. No suspects yet, but I'm told when caught, they could face charges of domestic terrorism. At the Department of Justice, David Spunt, Fox News.
Public health officials in Boston are taking a controversial approach to illegal drug use. While some support the plan, others are not so happy. Fox's Molly Line has the story.
They take a brick to it. They just keep smashing until something goes.
Jerry DiPiero's construction company sits right next to Boston's derisively nicknamed Methadone Mile, a sprawling homeless encampment where addicts openly use drugs.
Why are we giving them pipes? Are you kidding me? It's like giving them needles. I can give you 100 needles I pick up all the time here. What's it doing? It just makes this the central zone to come get everything.
Well, the city has long run a needle exchange. New harm reduction strategies now include distributing free pipes to smoke crack or methamphetamine. The city's goal? Transition intravenous drug users away from needles.
But every step that we take has to also be about immediately saving lives.
Boston's Democrat Mayor Michelle Wu, with Massachusetts Governor-elect Maura Healey at her side, defended the plan.
We have seen a big drop and data-proven success with the parts of the goals of this program, which are to ensure that there is a stop to communicable diseases that are preventable.
But not all city politicians are on board. Democrat City Councilor Michael Flaherty says he's incredulous that passing out crack pipes is the answer to what he calls a humanitarian crisis.
The people over there, the people that are struggling, they need treatment and recovery, and they need mental health services. We should not be enabling those poor souls that are down there.
So basically here is where the cameras are.
DiPiero points out smashed windows and says he's frustrated with a broken system.
Why would they go across town to go get help if they can just get everything they need right here? Doesn't make sense to me.
Earlier this year, the White House denied that federal funding directly or indirectly pays for crack pipes in safe smoking kits. In Boston, Molly Line, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, how an Old Town native is creating a bucket list in the face of her terminal illness.
And in sports, Maine men's basketball is on a 3-game losing streak, but 2 players have still shined. More on them and their trip to London. We'll be right back.
Looking for your dream home? Contact a Next Homie today and see what's available right now. Sellers, get ready to get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, we have your buyers.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Behind every keepsake
there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Tuition-free college courses for high school students online at Maine's top-tier research university. Apply for spring. umaine.edu/earlycollege. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the ADA Fence Company family. We appreciate all of your business throughout the years. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Comfort Shoes and More. Come see all of us for your footwear essentials.
Hello, Maine. This is Steve McKay. Not sure what the weather will be in your neck of the woods, but there's a 100% chance of Luke showing up near you. Next Home Experience is listing and selling homes throughout Maine. Get Luked and get sold with Next Home Experience.
Security concerns have several state governors banning TikTok on government devices. Fox's Edward Lawrence has the story.
The federal government seems to be really slow to act, but there's no question that there are real threats.
TikTok continues to face mounting pressure from states over security and privacy concerns. This week, Texas joined Maryland, South Dakota, Nebraska, and South Carolina in banning the app on state-owned devices. Republican governors say TikTok poses a security risk. The app is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, which critics claim is controlled by China's ruling Communist Party.
All of these things are in the hands of a government that doesn't share our values and that has a mission that's very much at odds with what's in the best interest of the United States. That should concern us.
ByteDance is currently being investigated by the Committee on Foreign Investment, but it's unclear when the review will be done. This has led some governors to take matters into their own hands with a ban.
Just one or two state employees that were, using TikTok on their state devices could have, compromised a lot of very important information.
Indiana taking it one step further and filing a lawsuit alleging the app misleads users, particularly kids, about the level of inappropriate content. A second lawsuit also alleges user data is not being protected. Now, despite national security concerns, many say states have no place banning its use.
I feel like these things are better left to the federal government. I feel like a lot of Republican governors are trying to flex their muscles a lot these days.
The White House has declined comment on national security concerns and the CFIUS review. At the White House, Edward Lawrence, Fox Business.
Hospitals are feeling the pressure as RSV, flu, and COVID cases continue to increase. This comes as the FDA greenlights more COVID vaccines for the youngest Americans. Fox's Garrett Tenney has more.
It is the wave, or the triple pandemic.
The triple-demic doctors warned about is now straining hospitals across the country. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, about 75% of beds in the U.S. are full. RSV and flu are responsible for most of those, but facilities are bracing for more COVID infections in the coming weeks as well.
Our pediatric hospitals have been really quite overrun with RSV respiratory illness, and now we are colliding with flu, which is starting to pick up, and we've already sort of been butting up with COVID-19.
The spike in respiratory viruses has been driven in large part by children. As of last month, pediatric bed capacity was around 90% in multiple states. Hospitals are now scrambling to get their hands on more equipment to handle the surge.
As soon as we can capture them, we bring them in, but demand is very high, and typically a lot of that equipment is already sold before it even hits our door.
Doctors say vaccinations remain the best way to protect against COVID and the flu. On Thursday, Moderna and Pfizer received an FDA emergency use authorization for their Omicron targeting COVID boosters for children as young as 6 months old. While there's currently no RSV vaccine, health experts say mask wearing can slow all 3 circulating viruses.
Make sure you're using those higher quality medical grade masks. So, don't rely on cloth or homemade masks because it does make a difference.
According to the CDC, fewer than 13% of Americans have received an updated COVID booster shot. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
And back here in Maine, have you ever wondered how you would react if you were told you had a terminal illness? It was certainly a devastating piece of news for Susan Curran of Old Town, but she isn't letting it get in the way of her dreams. In fact, as our Craig Colson reports, she has a bucket list of things she's hoping to accomplish, but she'll need some help.
I'm not done. I got a ways to go. I got stuff I want to do and learn and experience.
She has a warm personality that's clear from the moment you meet her. It's hard to believe this lively, energetic woman is living with a terminal illness. Susan Curran had already beat breast cancer once in 2015. You can imagine the feeling she had in 2020 when she learned it had returned. This time, it was in her bones.
I said, okay, but I feel great. I don't think there's anything going on. I feel better than I have in years.
Susan is now undergoing treatments to keep her as healthy as possible for as long as possible. But unlike some people who might understandably give up and wait for the worst, Susan has an ambitious plan. A massage therapist and karate instructor, Susan feels best when she's hiking and staying active. That's why she wants to visit all of America's national parks and is now raising money to make it happen.
And I love it. I just miss being outside. That's my church. Yeah. People go to church every Sunday. Well, that was my church, was hiking and being at the top of the mountain. It's amazing.
You want to head up through the north, huh?
I want to go up through here and then sneak up there and then maybe hit wine country for a little bit, you know?
Susan says the biggest expense is coming up with money for a reliable van that she can use to travel the nation. She and her supporters have created a GoFundMe page to help raise money. She hopes other hikers and lovers of the great outdoors will help her set out on an adventure of a lifetime when spring returns. You can find her GoFundMe page on Facebook by searching for Sue and Rosie's National Park Tour.
I was going to do this when I retired, but my retirement has come a lot sooner, unfortunately.
In Old Town, this is Craig Colson reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
And here's hoping she gets exactly what she needs to make that dream possible.
Absolutely. I love that spirit of still having that adventure in her and wanting to accomplish all those things.
Yeah.
It's really inspirational.
It is very inspirational. All righty. Well, Conrad is coming back with our full 5 days. Stay with us.
We had some rain yesterday, today lots of sunshine, but when is more precipitation going to be arriving? I'll have all the answers and more coming up shortly.
Real talk. Recent high school graduates get free tuition at Maine's community colleges. Enrollment is open right now, so sign up for classes this spring, summer, or next fall. Don't sleep on a free degree. Enroll today.
Waiting. Sometimes it's just inevitable. But if you're over 50 or live with a chronic condition, untreated COVID could be deadly. Got COVID symptoms? Get tested and get treated right away. It can't wait.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com.
Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground, Odland Road, Bangor.
Saturday, the big-time games are on the new Fox Primetime Hoops. Number 4, Arizona. Send it in. Number 10, Indiana. Square off in a Pac-12 Big Ten battle. Omar Barlow has been a force for the Wildcats, but the real deal Hoosiers are up for the challenge. The most exciting voices, And the biggest games are on Primetime Hoops. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Looking for a brighter future? Get started at Maine's community colleges. Spring and summer enrollment is open, so enroll today for low tuition, flexible schedules, and career-focused programs near you. Maine's community colleges. Discover the brighter you.
It's nitty-gritty time for the Bucks.
These conference games have so much on the line.
This is the game circled on my calendar.
The NFL, Sunday on Fox.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Our Maine weather is brought to you by Leona Mays Antique and Gift Shop in Newport. Come check out our 3 floors of antique treasures and gifts in our renovated 1800s home. So lots of clear skies today, a whole 180 of what we had just yesterday with all that rain in the region. Today we had lots of sunshine, and we're continuing to have some decreasing clouds throughout the day today, but all across the northeast. Besides just south of New York City, there are some thicker clouds, some rain showers by D.C., but overall that is a very light and low pressure system that's going to continue to move out of the region with a couple of sprinkles down south. But temperatures are really cooling off. Remember that cold front I told you? And that has finally arrived. Look at this high. Right now we're in the 30s, some 40s still down south, of course. By Atlanta, some 60s and 70s. They're hanging out on the beach, but hey, cooler weather will be all across the country. Everybody will get a taste of winter very shortly. Our average high should be around 37 this time around. Look what happens by Saturday. 32 and then 20s by Sunday into Monday below freezing. And then a little bit of a rebound by middle of next week. But hey, it's still going to be cold, so keep those jackets and gloves handy. Winds, not a big issue right now. We're starting to have some decreasing winds in the region. The coast does still have some gusty winds. Bar Harbor coming in with a 13-mile-per-hour wind. Same thing in Machias. Wind gusts closer to 25 to 30. But overall, we are in the clear here in town. Wind gusts right now here in Bangor around 20 miles an hour. The next couple of days, though, they're actually going to start to pick up. We'll see some wind gusts close to 25, some isolated 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts tomorrow, and then same thing into Saturday. So get ready for that, and we know it's going to get windy. That's why we have some gale watches in the area, and same thing with some small craft advisories until 12 p.m. on Friday. So if you're out and about or just hanging out by the coast, hold on to your hats. It's going to be a little bit windy. Tonight, though, temperatures will continue to go south, down and below freezing. Yes, our temperature tonight around 26 degrees. Decreasing clouds will be continuing, but breezy winds will be starting to ramp up, especially by tomorrow as temperatures start to warm up, hovering close to average around 38 degrees. Lots of sunshine once again, but it will be a bit breezy, so those winds will make it feel a lot colder than that actual temperature outside. Our extended forecast outlook does show lots of clear weather. Look at this dry weather pattern we got going on all throughout the week. Even into next week, we'll have lots of sunshine. So bring out those sunglasses, get them ready, but also keep a jacket on hand as temperatures will be in the 20s and 30s. Beth?
A nice sunny, brisk week coming our way. I dig it.
Yeah, I like to see sun in every one of those 5 days coming up, so that is good news there.
All righty.
Well, sports is coming up next, so stay with us for that.
Sometimes big truck accidents can result in big case settlements. These are just some of the big case results I fought to get my clients. If a big truck hurts you, we'll make them pay you every single dollar you deserve for your injuries. I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. If you've been hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck? Come out on top. Call the twos. Call 222-2222.
Two Old Goats Antiquities and Artisans is located in Trenton. Our shop is open year-round, offering more than 3,000 square feet of antiques, furniture, collectibles, and just plain fun stuff. We are a group shop featuring 18 different vendors, each with their own style. We buy and sell vintage items, antiques, and curios. For more info, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Two Old Goats Antiquities and Artisans, 749 Bar Harbor Road in Trenton. We know once you've stopped in and seen all the great deals we have to offer, you'll be back.
Check one, check two. The store's appearance may have changed throughout the years, but its dedication to our community and families has not wavered. we will still welcome you with a smile and top-notch service. If you need coffee,
check.
Tasty treats,
check.
Freshly made pizza, check. Or wine and spirits,
check.
Stop by and fill up your tank and check us out.
Season's greetings from C&K Variety in Herman. Serving the community for decades, C&K Variety strives for great customer service and a friendly atmosphere. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Engstrom's Auto Service family. We want to thank you for your business this past year. Diversified Inc. wishes everyone a joyful holiday season and is offering 10% off online gift cards from now until Christmas Eve.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Engstrom's Auto Service in Guilford. We specialize in all foreign and domestic service and alignments.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We will start off with some sad news. A little before 1 o'clock on a Thursday morning, it was announced that Xander Bogaerts' time with the Boston Red Sox had finished. The shortstop who graced Bangor with his presence for the Senior League World Series had been with the organization since he was a teenager, and he won 2 World Series titles with Boston. The team did not extend his contract prior to or during the 2022 season, and thus allowed Bogaerts to hit free agency, and it paid off for him. The Padres offered him a huge deal, 11 years and $280 million for a shortstop in his 30s. Reports are that the Red Sox offered him 6 years and roughly $160 million, so certainly an easy choice for Xander. Early on Thursday, newly acquired Red Sox pitcher Chris Martin spoke on what it means to lose a guy like Bogey.
Losing Xander, a player like that, is, it's a big loss. But, that was his decision, to move on. And obviously, the offseason isn't over. There's a lot of offseason left. I'm sure there's going to be some more additions that are going to help the team.
All right, let's hope he's right there. I hope they extend Devers, and I had a blast watching Bogaerts in a Red Sox uniform for a big chunk of my life, wishing him well in San Diego. Let's go to the gym now. Maine men's basketball started off the season on a tear, winning 4 straight games, and even though they've dropped their last 3, the Black Bears are confident they have the tools to turn it around. Ryan Sudol has the story.
Even the biggest, baddest bears in the woods must ultimately go into hibernation. And for Maine men's basketball, that's exactly what has happened, dropping 3 in a row after starting the year 4-1.
I mean, we played pretty good teams. Fordham's a good team, Brown, and then Marist, they were good teams, but I think it's all stuff we can fix.
In their last game, Sunday, against Marist, the Black Bears held a lead in the last 30 seconds of the game, but couldn't hold on. Despite that, the backdrop of London, England made for a memorable experience for all.
Favorite part of the trip was probably just seeing London in general with my teammates. I think it's a good, great way for us to team bond as well. I feel like we got closer on that trip.
Speaking of London, London's own Getty Husapaitis was one of the team's bright spots over their skid. At a ripe 24 years old, he averaged 12 points a game.
We call him Pops, partly because he's old, but he's also one of the leaders on the team. He has a high basketball IQ. He has a lot of knowledge.
Who just knows how to put the ball in the basket. 5th-year guy who's older and has seen it all. There's nothing that's being thrown at him that he hasn't seen. And most importantly, he's a competitor.
Sophomore Kellen Tynes was also a factor, averaging 15 points a game over their last 3. Coach Chris Markwood says his success comes from where he comes from.
Kel's coming from a winning program. Montana State was in the NCAA tournament last year. He's been around what it takes to win. He knows that. He's a leader. He's an alpha.
With both leaders at the forefront, one of the main points the Black Bears are focusing on as they prepare for conference play is closing out. Each game during this losing streak was lost by 7 points or fewer.
In Division I basketball, there's a lot of one-possession games. So the success of your year a lot of times comes down to how do you handle those situations, which we're learning how to win in those situations.
Reporting for ABC 7 Fox 22, I'm Ryan Sudol.
Thanks for that, Ryan. I've never been to London. I heard the fish and chips very good. So, like you said, Black Bears trying to stop the skid. They were in action Thursday at home, looking to avoid 4 in a row, hosting the D3 UMaine Augusta, while the women were also in action in the night game, welcoming the Rams from Fordham. We'll start with the men. Chris Markwood and the Black Bears in action at the Pit, playing host to the Moose from Augusta. Great mascot. First half, Jaden Clayton here with the steal on the fast break. No-look pass to Kellen Tynes for the smooth lay-in. Clayton with 7 assists, Tynes with 12 points on the night. But the Moose would fight back early. Off the inbounds, Fraser McDonald finds himself wide open for the slam. They'd bring it to within 9, but that's as close as they'd get. Clayton again here finds Christian Freerbergs for a slam of his own. One hand there, and then here's Clayton doing it again by himself, getting to the bucket and finishing in traffic, and Maine just too much for the visitors from Augusta. Fofo Adetogun with a nice finish in transition here. Black Bears win big, 103-67. Okay, now the nightcap. It's the women's turn. Maine facing Fordham, and there's Anna DeWolf from Greeley starting for the Rams. Here she is late third quarter, driving inside for the hoop and the harm. The Black Bears were up 4 after 3, though. Fourth quarter, Paula Gallegos' 3 is off the mark, but here's Adriana Smith cleaning it up with the bucket. She had 22 and 11, her 4th double-double of the year. That ties it. Later, Black Bears down 2. Smith out to Olivia Rockwood for the lead, splashes it home, 51-50. Maine with 5.5 left. Very next position, Isaiah Dingle with a 3-pointer to put the Rams ahead once again, and that would be the game-winning bucket. They'd go on to win 57-51. All right, tough loss there for the women, but the rebound, tough non-conference schedule. Let's go to football now. It was an incredible season for Husson Junior linebacker Tucker Buzzle, one where he broke the program's single-season tackle record and was named first team all-conference, and the list got even bigger this week. Buzzle was named to D3Football.com's All-Region 1 first team. He led the CCC with 118 tackles, that's 11.8 per game, enough for top 5 in the country in both categories. He also picked off 4 passes and recorded 56 solo tackles. Buzzle was named the Defensive Player of the Week 3 times this past season, helping the Eagles to a home bowl game against Plymouth State. Crazy that he's only a junior, and he'll be back for 1 more year. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Look around your house. Home is more than just eating, sleeping, and sitting. Play some pool, air hockey, have some friends over. So now, come look around our house. Experience the choices at Jordan's.
Welcome to Rebecca's. For over 30 years, we've been serving our local customers in downtown Bangor, and we invite you to explore our historic shop.
Rebecca's carries many Maine-made products from local artisans. Perhaps you need a gift basket for your next celebration. We'll be glad to help. From blueberry ceramic dishes, gourmet foods featuring Stonewall Kitchen, fine wines to antique dishes and furniture. You're sure to find that perfect gift.
We hope to see you soon at Rebecca's.
Come try one of our daily specials at Pat's Pizza in Hamden.
Tuesday, spaghetti or ziti with meatballs or sausage, only $5.50.
Wednesday, large one-topping pizza, only $8.50.
Thursday, get an oven-baked wrap for only $6.
Friday is fish and fries for only $8.
And Saturday, get a small one-item pizza with a fountain soda, only $8.
Bring the family to Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road, North Hamden.
Did you know that Renewal by Andersen will replace your windows any time of the year and in any weather? Made with our exclusive Fibrix material, which is vastly superior to vinyl, never needs painting, and resists warping and bowing. We custom build your replacement windows in the USA and back them with the nation's best warranty. Call Renewal by Andersen for your free consultation. Don't miss this money-saving deal with great financing. Installation is always included. Call now.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright. Come in now and choose from a great selection of new Ford trucks and SUVs in stock and ready for delivery. Or place a custom order on select vehicles, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Plus, new inventory is arriving daily, so you can drive one home for the holidays. Now, custom order a select 2023 Ford vehicle today. Lock in your rate and you're protected during the Shine Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer.
Make your space the place to be. Enjoy each moment and create memories with friends and family. And now, get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the fun at Jordan's.
You came to head the missing persons unit to find my son.
And I won't let these families go through what I went through.
Where are they?
Welcome back. The next chapter of a hit survival drama is on the way. Netflix gives a sneak peek at the upcoming special edition of My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman and much more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Man will do most anything to cheat death.
Bail investigates Letterman's next guest, and Yellow Jackets gets a date in the Hollywood Nation. Showtime's hit survival drama Yellow Jackets returns spring 2023. Season 2 will make its streaming debut March 24th, followed by its broadcast premiere on the network March 26th. The show is about a girls' high school soccer team involved in a plane crash and the survivors dealing with the traumatizing event 25 years later.
Ladies and gentlemen, your president, Volodymyr Zelensky.
David Letterman makes a special trip to Kyiv in today's First Looks. Netflix released a clip featuring the late-night legend traveling to the Ukrainian capital for his interview with President Volodymyr Zelensky. The in-depth conversation was filmed for a special standalone episode of his show, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. It premieres December 12th.
What is this? Blood, symbols, rituals. Oh, my Lord.
Netflix also released the trailer to the gothic murder mystery The Pale Blue Eye, starring Christian Bale. He plays a veteran detective who teams up with a young Edgar Allan Poe to solve the mysterious death of a West Point cadet in 1830s upstate New York. It arrives in select theaters December 23rd and is available to stream January 6th.
We're no closer to finding who's responsible for this than we were a month ago.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, switching gears now, Build-A-Bear Workshop says its teddy bears aren't just for kids. The company's CEO says 40% of its customers are now teenagers and adults. Many of the older customers are gift buyers and collectors who are attracted to licensed merchandise of popular video games, characters, and movies. Build-A-Bear has also gained popularity on TikTok as influencers hold stuffing parties. The company recently reported a 9.9% increase in its third quarter sales compared to last year.
And finally tonight, Busch Light is releasing holiday lights with a twist. The Busch Lights are glowing beer cans. Each string has 150 cans that can even play the Busch Light jingle. Fans who want the lights need to send a letter to Anheuser-Busch Brewery or comment on Busch Light's social media posts with the hashtag Letters to St. Louis and sweepstakes by December 21st. And I don't know, it kind of looks to me just like, you know, a bush next to like a frat house or something.
I mean, they certainly could look festive in a backyard barbecue kind of way. I don't know that they look Christmassy.
Right,
but
yeah.
I'm sure they could look festive and fun. So, okay.
I get it. Yeah, I like to play on words a lot. So
I'll just go with the regular Christmas lights. Maybe some holly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's better.
All righty, folks. That's going to do it for us. Take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC7 News at 11.
Moments of life are special, and suffering from diabetes should not get in the way. US Med's mission is to find ways to make your diabetes more manageable and more comfortable. You deserve to enjoy life without the constant reminder of living with diabetes. If you monitor with 4...
And I'm a giddy teenager again.
There's probably plenty that she still wants to do. That's the fun part about her. You never know what's next.
I've got huge drive, huge determination, great curiosity. What else can we do? What more can we do?
Dolly, Reba, Loretta Lynn. I think that Reba's definitely up there with those great ladies.
She's a one-name wonder. There aren't too many of those left.
I actually don't know if I've ever met another Reba. And if someone was named Reba, I'd be like, you're not the real one.
I hope that I have brought something to the table to help the ones coming up.
This younger generation, we have some pretty incredible idols to look up to, and I would certainly include Reba.